We're number one.
Jimmy is being a cheap ass. You know, I'm like, damn.
You heard it here first. Joe Rogan listens
Joe
to our podcast.
Right, we're the best. You know, they say people that cuss are more honest. So I'm an honest motherfucker. Put the fish away, Reggie.
It don't even hurt to give birth anymore.
Not for me.
Nothing to it. Okay, let's do it. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to do it.
I wear a thong. I got one on right now. You want to see?
Jimmy and Gee. Madhouse Bar Talks, baby.
That is a bunch of shit, if you ask me. That ain't make no sense.
Morning. Sunday morning. March 9th. Bro, this year's already rolling. This is crazy. Can't believe it. What do you got going? You going back to work?
Nope.
No, I thought you were.
I thought so too. They called me Friday.
They called you Friday and said no go? When do you got to go back?
Probably next week.
Damn it.
What do you mean? I don't know.
What about that trim? I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. As soon as you said it. Anyways, oh man. So for the week, the weirdest thing I think is this Gene Hackman thing. Did you see this?
Yeah.
So it was weird enough, squeaky voice. It was weird enough that they come in with like, they go, it's him, his wife,
and a dog.
and a dog dead, right? So then a couple days ago, they released like the reports. They're like, the wife was dead 7 days or 9 days or something before him. And then he's dead like 9 days or whatever total. So they're saying because he had Alzheimer's. So his Alzheimer's was so bad, he's just roaming around the house and his dead wife's in the...
For a week.
It's that bad?
I guess.
I didn't know it could get that bad.
And then they didn't clearly say heart attack. It was heart condition. So whatever that meant.
He probably starved to death. She was probably his sole caregiver. If it was so bad.
And what was hers? An aneurysm?
No, hers was some
weird disease.
Rare disease or something. It was called hantavirus. Mm-hmm. I never even heard of it.
And then the dog. It just came back from surgery, though.
It was in a cage, though.
Yeah, came back from surgery, so of course it starved.
Yeah, well, I mean, if she was the sole caregiver, you figure that dog was in that cage for like 16 years, something like that, or 16 days.
Yeah.
Something like that, something to that effect. That is absolutely crazy.
Somebody that had that kind of finances in life didn't have a caregiver.
His wife was his caregiver, and she was young enough to be his caregiver, but she just gets this random disease. You know what I mean? I didn't know he was that bad, though. Like,
she was, what, 95? Close to it.
Yeah, but Alzheimer's, I didn't realize would make you like that, like so out of it you don't know to call the police, or you don't know.
You never seen nobody with Alzheimer's?
Not like that, I guess, no. I mean, I've seen Adam Sandler's 51st Dates. I mean, that wasn't Alzheimer's, though.
No.
I mean, I don't know of anybody that had Alzheimer's. I mean, I think I have it sometimes.
That's called sometimers.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never seen that where it's.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, where you can't even function. Like, you can't even call that's wild to me. Yeah. And I always thought Alzheimer's like kind of went in and out. Like, you would think in a month
the very beginning
or a week. I mean,
that's the beginning of it. Once you're out, you're out.
Wow, that's sad. You know, I saw a thing that said they're saying that might have something to do with like poor teeth health, Alzheimer's.
I always heard aluminum and stuff like that.
They're saying now, like there's studies out there that are saying it has something to do with poor teeth health.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty weird though. Because at first, the first week or so, after it happened,
Well,
we're
it's
like,
just odd that they're
Three,
both
right.
dead. The dog's dead, and there's no foul play. Like,
Right.
no foul play. You ain't calling that kind of soon, don't you think? I mean,
Yeah, they probably kind of knew it when they announced it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's. I mean, I just. They said she was mummified. I guess.
Yeah, she's been there for a while.
Yeah. That's wild. That's crazy. And you know what? Gene Hackman was. I always liked Gene Hackman.
Oh, his movies were great.
Oh yeah, he's the best Lex Luthor ever, right? So we got a late start. I couldn't get to bed last night. I fell asleep on the recliner earlier in the day, and then I just screwed me up. I couldn't fall asleep last night. And then they brought the clocks forward, so like technically. You know, I mean, we would have been going on right at 8:40 or 8:30 or whatever.
This is the latest we started in a long time.
Yeah, because of the time change. This bullshit. This stupid farmers.
I ain't gonna say that.
Well, I mean, that's a Simpsons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why. I mean, there's people that argue that you don't want time, you know, but I think you almost need to with construction and road work and stuff. That extra hour of daylight when you're working shift is awesome. At some point, you need it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had it our whole life, so I don't know.
It just seems normal. It just like everybody talks about getting rid of it. It's like I don't see why get rid of it.
But they've been saying that for like 3-4 years now.
No, 20. Oh yeah, forever. But
no, they've always talked about it, but they was like, yeah, we're doing it next year, and it's never happened.
I thought they were like 4 years ago saying that's it, we're getting rid of it. But I haven't heard it since that year. But then it didn't get gone.
Right.
So it's so weird to me.
Yeah, this year we're doing it.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Bizarre. My mom come over yesterday. Brought the dog over. It was nice seeing her. I ain't seen her in a while. She brought me one of those like necklace. She brought my brother one. He got one a while ago. Now she got me one that's like a lion. But it's not. I wouldn't wear it on my neck. It's like I don't know. It's real big. It's beautiful. It's actually really cool. But I put it on my mirror in my truck, and she knew that's what I was going to do with it. But then she comes over and she's like, "Are you going to see Gito?" And I go, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "I made him a bracelet. I wanted to give him a bracelet." Yeah. I'm like, "What are you making Gito bracelets for?"
Don't you worry about it.
She said, he's a nice guy. He helped me when my car was broke down or my tire needed done, all this stuff. So here's your bracelet.
Give me my bracelet.
This is some crazy shit. My mom making you bracelets and whatnot.
I'll call her and thank her later. It's actually pretty nice.
She goes, "He wears them when I make them." That's what she said. I go, "Whatever, weirdos."
Jealous. Jesus.
Well, she got you that crystal ball. Have you ever shown anybody that on the camera? That thing is pretty extravagant.
When we first got it.
That thing's a pretty extravagant crystal ball. It's like the real deal. There's like mystical powers in that thing or something.
Troy ever say something sitting over here?
I don't think he has. He's like, ignore. Look straight ahead. Look straight ahead.
Don't eyeball it.
So I went down a rabbit hole last night too, because I seen Tucker Carlson did this interview, and then he started talking about this this whole South Africa thing. And there's like some guy out there that's like, I forget who it was that he showed, but it's what started me on the rabbit hole. But it goes down. Like, basically, they're like saying at some point we're going to have to murder the South African white people.
What the hell?
Yeah. They're like, the white people are they're just inferior to us.
Who was saying that?
It's like African leaders. Like, he's like on stage saying this. And Tucker Carlson's showing us. I had never heard of this before. And it was called, what the heck? What was the name of what the heck? Let me go look at it real quick. I searched it last night. Azania critical theory. They like think that they're supposed to come in and just basically wipe us out. It's pretty wild. Like when I heard it, I'm like, what in the hell? And I'm looking, I go, this is dangerous. This is like, you haven't heard nothing like this since like the Nazis, right?
No, I ain't heard that.
Like that's some Jew, like the Nazi shit that was going on, right? Or no?
Yeah, where's this guy from?
Africa. That, like he's saying South Africa are Europeans that invaded Africa. They can't call themselves African, and it's wild, dude. It's crazy, and they just want to wipe them out. They're like, well, the white people are just inferior to us, anyways. That's what he said. It's legit, like some
Is he
fucking
in
Hitler.
power or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. Well, you know what's scary is like that it could spread. Like you know, at some point Muhammad started, you know, this Muslim belief, and it spread like wildfire everywhere. And Hitler started, like you say, and it spread like wow. I mean, that when we were young, there was still like neo-Nazis in the U.S., like people walking around dressed like Hitler and stuff. I mean, not in our neighborhood, but we seen it on the news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, groups here and there. Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was a young man. I remember in the '90s. I remember the Ku Klux Klan doing rallies in downtown Cleveland at the right at the Justice Center. Like,
they were on Geraldo.
Yeah, they were on Geraldo too. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, you don't see that no more. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably more closeted.
Well, I mean, it was a freedom of speech type thing.
Right.
Well, you know, you say that funny. It's funny you say that about closeting, because then they were talking about something got brought up when I looked for that. Critical race theory kept coming up, and I've heard of critical race theory before. Really never investigated what it was per se. So I just kind of went and watched like exactly what they mean by critical race theory, and basically the what it's saying on there is that it's the teachings that everything is racist, everyone is racist, and it's just a matter of you figuring out where the racism is. Like they one guy gives an example. He said, if you're a shop owner, he goes, and a black guy and a white guy walk in, you know, if you wait on the black guy, it's because you don't trust him to be in the store with you alone after you wait on the other guy. And if you wait on the white guy first, it's because you're racist and you're just taking care of the white guy. You can't win. There's no win in that.
Yeah.
And that's their theory. And it's like, and they said it's automatic, doesn't matter, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It happens. Critical race theory means this exists no matter what. You can think it doesn't, but it does. Okay? I call bullshit, dude. When the two guys come in the store,
whoever comes into the counter first, that's all.
There you go. Whoever is first, that's who I try to take care of first. Period. Now, if Amanda brought up a good point because we were talking about it. She goes, well, what if they both exactly walk in at the same time? I said, well, then at that point, the only thing I could do is look and see what they have going on. So if one has like gambling, maybe I would take care of him second. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't know what the actual answer would be.
If two people came up to the counter at the same time and who had more in their hands, like at a grocery store or something, you just take who got the least amount first because they'll leave first.
You'd get them out as fast, right? You did that way. You don't hold the other one up. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, whoever's the fastest to take care of. So, but according to this critical race theory that they teach, that was actually brought up in Harvard, and they actually teach, they're saying no matter what, that you're racist regardless. There's nothing you can do about it. It's what you are. And like I said, they teach that in one model, if you do it this way, you're racist for this reason. In one model, you do it in this way, it's because you're racist for the other reason.
I think it's the people looking at it's more racist than the ones that are actually doing it.
It's unbelievable to me. I like that. How do they? And they want to. There's some people pushing to teach this in the elementary education.
Well.
And then if you cripple that, okay, you take that and you start teaching that at a young age, okay? Mm. And then you get this African guy that's on there saying, wipe them out. This is all dangerous shit. Like, people, I don't understand how we went from 20 years ago, it felt like racism was beaten.
There's always going to be racism. Always.
I get it, but it felt beaten, didn't it?
Nah.
You don't think so? You don't think 20 years ago, you don't think that you felt like I mean, you might have you didn't judge people on anything but their character, did you? 20 years ago?
No, if he was an ass, he was an ass. That's
Right. I felt like that's how it was 20 years ago.
Right. I don't know. I don't agree. I think that racism was strong 20 years ago for sure.
I thought it was only in old people 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And then the young generation was coming up different. That's how I felt about it. I mean, that's how I see. Okay, it's 10 times worse today than it was 20 years ago.
No, I think people like to show stuff.
It's on the media 10 times worse today than it is.
That's what I'm saying. I think people, it's the same. It's just more visible, that's all.
I mean, it's all you hear about. Everything is about race all the time on there. It's crazy to me. And then I see that this Harvard thing, like that's what it... I didn't know what critical race theory... I had no idea. I'd heard of it.
I never heard of it till today.
Oh, you had never even heard of it?
No.
Oh, see, I've heard of it. Amanda said the same thing. She had never heard of it. I had heard of it, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So that's why I looked into it. But, I mean... That's a retarded... How can that ever be a theory that you're teaching? That you're teaching in an educational institution. Why would you ever teach such ignorance?
Well, a person that ain't getting taught that would probably want to look into it so they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
But I mean, how do you look at that and not see it's like bad? You can't win for losing? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's all it is. That's all they're teaching. They're saying you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, and that's just how it is. Oh well, and that's the theory that they want to teach and say this is how it is. That's crazy to me. I think, and by the way, that's not white or black. They're saying it's both ways. Like black would do the same thing in their shop. But see, I feel like everybody but white people get a pass. They can be as racist as they want to be, and it's okay. But white people cannot. Like there's no pass for white people. That's how it feels. Because, like, if white people go on and say racist shit, it would be ridiculous. But black people go and do it all the time, and nobody's, like, going, this is ridiculous. I don't get it. Like, why is that okay and why is one okay and one's not? That's what I'm saying. Where does that come from?
Because you're white. I don't know. Shit. I don't know.
And I'm not saying black or white. I'm saying white or Hispanic, Indian, Chinese. Like, you could be any other thing and say racist shit and it's okay. I'm not saying that just black people. You know what I'm saying?
Let's say I ain't experienced racism in-house. You know what I mean? Like, my family ain't like that. They just don't care.
Okay.
They don't see it.
Right.
So I've not been in-house. I haven't seen it ever.
In-house? What do you mean?
In my home, my parents, my uncles.
Nobody sees it in their house. You're all the same.
No, I'm talking about they don't talk about other cultures and shit. They don't do that. Like other cultures, they'll talk about other...
I would disagree. I would bet you a fly in the wall would say that there's been a time where your dad says, those Indians, they're always doing this. Or these, like...
If there was any racial shit said...
I'm not saying it was like in a discerning way, but it was probably said like, as a matter of factly, like a stereotypical way.
Joking around and shit, maybe, but not serious ever.
Well, no, I agree. A lot of... I've never seen a lot... In my opinion, I've never seen a lot that was... No, I've seen it. I'm not saying... I don't want to say I didn't see a lot. I've seen a lot of racism, for sure. 100%. That was horrible. But I've also seen a lot with my friends growing up that was just digging at each other.
Yeah, I have too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
But I'm saying in the house, like at home, I've never seen nothing like that. Mm-hmm.
Nah, my dad was racist when I was a kid.
Jeez.
But he pretends he wasn't now. Well, like, he was on the podcast like, I don't know why people would be. It's like, dude, I grew up with you. I know how racist you were.
Nah, never had none of that in the house.
Yeah, I seen it with my dad for sure, and I was disgusted by it because I grew up in a generation where it just was not acceptable. I thought that's the way I grew up. Like, I felt it was unacceptable.
Yeah,
and that was ignorance from the people from the past. You know what I'm saying?
So I'd be over friends' houses and hear a lot of that shit, and I'd be in shock at first, and then after a while, I was like,
What do you mean? Like, you would hear them say like the N-word or something, or
stuff like that.
Oh, I freaking was at a gas station inside the last 5 years, and I've heard like people come in and say weird shit like that, and people that shouldn't be saying it either. And I'm like, that's fucked up.
Right.
Like a police officer type person, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And I'm like, how is this? I mean, I know they think they're among friends, but I'm just standing there buying cigarettes, and I go, what the fuck is the matter with this person? Like, this is how they believe? That's sad.
Yeah, like I said, I never experienced it in house, so I didn't.
Yeah, I never really lived with my dad where I remember him, you know what I mean? I seen it from him, but I wasn't like living with him or nothing. I actually at the time had a black stepdad, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just like, I don't know. He probably wasn't even like racist as much as he was pissed off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's very possible. That's just what'll happen. You know? Just like maybe a plumber get nasty because she's dating an electrician. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh, those fucking electricians. You want to kick every electrician on a job. You know what I'm saying? Could be. I'm just saying. I don't know for sure if it was true racism or if it was just like an irritation because his ex-wife was with the black guy.
Like I said, I've experienced it personally out in the streets, but not in house or nothing like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying the critical race theory, that's what it is. I was shocked to hear that that's something that they actually teach, that you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You are racist no matter what race you are.
Where are you
It was originally taught in Harvard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, originally. The original critical race theory was taught it came from a Harvard professor, yeah. And now,
it was probably just named at that point.
And now it's being taught, though, like in Columbia. I haven't taken a class. I'm just telling you what the synopsis that I'm getting from it, clearly. You know what I mean? But I don't understand why it's even a class like that. This is why racism won't go away, because of stupid shit like this. You know what I'm saying?
It's never going to go away. As long as the people got a different tone of color, different accent, whatever, different religion, it's never going to go away.
Well, and you know, with the religion thing, it becomes different, because with religion, people are so, and I was just telling that up to Amanda yesterday too. I go, and with religion, everybody's so like unbendable, you know, and it's like, I get it to some degree, but at the same time, they're so staunch in everything that they do. Like, if you're Muslim, you believe blah, 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 blah. And there's nothing you can do. Like, when they say, okay, we want to get peace between Muslims and Jews, you know, overseas or whatever, it's not going to happen. They believe wholeheartedly like they believe. Yeah. You know what I mean? They believe they believe that they are 100% right in their conviction. As Troy does when he comes in here. He believes that his beliefs are 100% right, and he has serious conviction in that. Religion is something that, like, you can't even look and go, oh, he's all right. You know what I mean? Like, if you're racist, you meet a guy and go, he's all right. You know what I mean? You might, and then all of a sudden, maybe you start taking down barriers, like on, what was that? Remember the Titans? Whenever they, like, all finally got to know each other and realized they liked each other. I don't think that, like, with that religious aspect, like, dude, that it's something that, first of all, it's beat into them when they're young, and they're all so strong in their convictions, whether it's, you know, Christianity, Jewish, you know, Muslims. I mean, Christians and Jews get along because Christians believe that Jews will be shown someday that Jesus was the Messiah. They believe that when he comes back, that they'll see it.
I don't know. I don't.
But that's something that just will never. I don't know that can.
That's
ever
what I'm
go
saying.
away.
Prejudice and stuff, it'll never stop.
People do some weird shit with religion.
But
I watched that.
It doesn't matter if it does or don't. It's just that what's the extent of it? You know what I mean?
Have you seen that Ruby Frank thing? Have you heard about her? I just watched it last night. I was watching the thing on Hulu or whatever. It's. I think she went to prison like 2 years ago. I think. Something like that. Ruby Frank. She was this mom. She was a YouTuber on TV. I
think I did see something like that.
And she had, like, I think they were called 8 passengers. It was her husband and 6 kids. And they were religious. Like, they were, not, what is it? They're Mormons. They were Mormons, Utah Mormon type people. And she went off her fucking rocker. Like, she just, like, got so into her religion, and, like, she pushed her husband away, like, hooked up with this Judy chick that, like, told her husband was bad, he needed to go away for a while, like, freaking had her kids tied up, and the one got out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
And it was all based on religion, like, that she honestly thought, like, even the husband, when he said that he hadn't heard from his wife in a year, and his wife called him and said, the kids are at the police station. You're going to have to go get them. And he said, what happened? She said, they got possessed by demons.
Yeah, I think I remember that shit.
Like, what the hell? And he was like, oh, they're possessed by demons? This is horrible. And he believes this wholeheartedly. And then for some reason, his eyes opened up at some point. But, like, yeah, and it's all based on religion shit. Like, it's all these wars over religion. It's wild to me.
That's like, what's that one guy's name? Manson.
Charles Manson. I watched.
How you get people to follow you? Like, that's crazy.
Oh, that's easy. What you do?
You drug the shit out of them.
You get with Jerry West from the CIA.
Say what kind of?
And Jerry West, who's spent his whole life studying mind control, gives you all the tools that you need to take you from prison to running a family, and then, you know, switches it from LSD, which created your family, to speed, which creates murderers. Yeah, that's how you do that. If you'd read the book Chaos, you'd understand that by now. In that theory, basically, they did test with lab rats where these mice or whatever on LSD would commune and just fuck all day. And then when they switched it to speed, they started killing each other. So this is exactly what happened with the Manson family. They did LSD in San Francisco in the summer of 1967. They had this whole facility that was supposed to be there for venereal diseases and stuff like that, for safety, basically, to help these hippies, because it was a summer of love. Hippies had taken over. And then the Manson family was in this clinic every day. Him and all the girls, everything, every day they're in there. Why? Why were they in there? And where was he getting LSD? He didn't have a job. He just got out of prison. Where was he getting all this LSD he had? You know what I'm saying? And then he goes to this ranch, switches it to speed, and all of a sudden they're murdering people. Fucking wild, dude. It's crazy. But it's definitely, they said that he would take LSD and he wouldn't even hardly take any. He would just take a microdose or none at all, and he'd get all of them on LSD, and he would sit there and preach to them for hours every night, telling them that, you know, basically the revolution was coming and all this stuff. That whole thing is crazy. And you know, after he went to prison and like was in court and stuff, some of those followers were literally like camped out outside where the courtroom was in the jailhouse, and like, oh, he's gonna come out. For a long time they were doing that. Like, he had them really seriously convinced that he was Almighty Jesus. And then, you know, the other thing is too, if you see pictures of Manson on the Spawn Ranch compared to like seeing him in jail and all that, and how he came in and all that, not the same. Like, I mean, you see pictures of him at the ranch, and he's, you know, got all these followers around him. He's got all these toys. They got doom buggies and this and that. He's kissed by the sun because he's out in the sun desert all day. You know what I mean? He probably was a lot more appealing looking than he is in his oranges in the prison with the
crazy swastika
on his forehead. So I mean, yeah, but it started when he first got out of prison with that. That's where it all started from. And like, you're talking about, these were people that were straight A students, some of them in school, some of them weren't. But like that Watson, the one that actually led the group that went in and killed them, that Watson that came in there, he was like, I think he was like a pro athlete, straight A student. You know what I mean? He might even been like a valedictorian or something like that.
How do we get radio this?
You said that. Like, how does Manson get these followers? You said
I'm
that.
saying like the religion of it.
I just told you it was LSD.
I know.
That's
I
how
didn't
he
need
did
all
it.
that damn explanation. Shit.
It wasn't religion. That's not what did it. It was LSD is what did it with him. That's how he did it. And that Jerry West show, that was his life's work, was for the government, for the CIA, MK Ultra, trying to do mind control. That was his whole.
They were experiment.
Yeah, and it all went south apparently.
Or maybe not.
Well, you know what's crazy too is that he would get arrested constantly.
Yeah, I seen that.
And they never get it. Even after the Tate murders, they came and invaded the ranch and they had guns, stolen cars, everything. Nobody goes to prison. And he's on probation at this point. It's crazy. That book is wild. They just came out with, Netflix just came out with Chaos. But I watched it last night, and it leaves out so much that's in the book. I mean, it's not really all that valuable. I actually, when my mom was there, I was trying to watch it, but between my mom and Dylan, everybody was running around acting crazy. It wasn't real. So it might have all been in there, and I just didn't see it. I don't know. Possible. But it's on Netflix.
Daryl.
Who?
Daryl.
Never heard of him.
Daryl.
Is that guy that works for that Pitted Concrete Company?
Yeah, the Pitted Concrete Company.
Yeah, that guy was so...
He's in Arizona right now.
My concrete on my driveway, we got it from a local company here. And we got it at poured... What was it, June? I think it was June 19th, actually, was the exact day. So we poured a concrete, and we get the winter's over now, and as the snow melted, I seen pitting at the end of the driveway. Well, now that all the snow's gone, it's the whole second truck. The whole second truck is pitting all the way up the driveway, and even the third truck, which was half of the bottom apron, has no pitting whatsoever. None.
By where the salt would spread.
Right. And there is where the salt wouldn't be midway up the driveway, although it would still be in your vehicles. It would come off, but it's not coming off anywhere where the first truck was, and it's not coming off anywhere where the third truck is. And this guy goes, oh, there's nothing. And then he tells me, he goes, oh, it was a cold winter. You know what? Fuck you and your cold winter. You know what? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. We poured in June. Now, if we poured in like October, you'd have an argument. We poured in June. We had a nice hot summer. That concrete was set up, and these fuckers, this owner is immediately just like going, nope, has nothing to do with me. It was a cold winter. It's like, oh, really? Where's all the rest of the pitted driveways, you fuck? That irritates the shit out of me, dude. You spend all that money to freaking pour a driveway. You know what I mean? And just to dog you like that, it's just fucking rude.
Not even actually letting you speak.
No, never even gave you any. He just automatically goes, oh, that whole thing was a shit show. I go, what do you mean it was a shit show? And he goes, well, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, that first truck took forever. I go, we were buggying concrete to the back. I go, what do you want me to do? We're buggying concrete to the back for a patio back there. I go, that's not okay to buggy concrete to the back? What else do you suspect that we should do? And then he said, well, there's no proof that it's our concrete. I go, it kind of is. I mean, it's only the second truck. It's only one truck is the only truck that pitted. That's it. And he goes, oh, I'll send the engineers out there. It's like, oh, he's going to send engineers. His engineers. What are his engineers going to tell me? I think I just need to get an attorney. I mean, what are his engineers? Are they going to go, oh, yeah, it's our fault, sorry?
Right.
They're not going to do that.
Never.
No, they're not. And, I mean, what's it going to cost? I mean, that's just shitty, dude. To put out a shit product and then blame somebody else for it, like blame the cold winter. I don't care what anybody says. That's all bullshit, dude. Cold winters are not going to make concrete pit. Just ain't going to happen.
Well, what about the driver with the water? Jesus.
Well, yeah, that dude was like, yeah, that guy was too much. And he's like, he ran out of water. He's washing his truck the whole time. Like, the whole thing was crazy from that guy. Only the second driver. The first dude, third dude, great. But that second dude was a freaking weirdo. And that's what truck is fucked up. That's the truck. That's the one. And he's going to tell me it's our fault somehow. Somehow it's our fault.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Aggravating shit.
before he started pouring, he was washing his truck. I hate drivers like that.
That was washing his truck before he got started?
Yeah, before he even started, just washing it.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, I ran out of water. Somebody's going to have to come down here.
Me water. I'm like, there's a hose right there, dude. You can fill it up. No, that's all right. Got a truck coming. Okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I got a truck coming when there's a hose right there. If you just want to rinse your truck down, there's a hose. We told him, here's a hose right here. Why not do that? Why send a whole truck? And then, the other thing with that whole company, which kind of irritated me, was in no conversation did they tell me that there was going to be an extra fee. They gave me a price on the concrete. We ordered 2 trucks and a balance. They give us a price on the concrete. The concrete on the 3rd truck was short. I've got the video. It shows you how much was there.
Oh, I agree 100%.
There's no question it was short. And we ordered over at what anybody estimated, and it still was short. So either way, whatever. I haven't said nothing about that. I let that go. I was irritated by it. But then they send me this bill, they had my credit card on file. They freaking nipped me right afterwards for another $800 and some dollars. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The concrete was only what was it, $3,300 or $3,500 or something like that? Am I right?
I can't remember.
It was $100 a yard, right? Or 100? Was it 150 a yard?
It was over 150.
Oh, okay. So I think it was somewhere around there. Yeah. So it was more like 7,000 then. And then they just hit me with an $800 bill later. Nothing. It just comes off your credit card.
No conversation about it.
Nothing. No. They never even told you there was a possibility of it. Nothing.
I'm just wondering if
I got your credit card number and I'm taking it.
I'm wondering if they're charging the merge from that second guy being on the job. That's all I'm thinking, because he washed right there at the end of the driveway for 20 minutes, half hour. Then he goes down the street for another 45 minutes. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, I ain't never seen that on residential.
No, it was annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, so they hit you with the demurrage for that driver being there because he wanted to wash his truck.
I think what they said is they hit me with overtime pay.
Yeah.
For that
It's called
guy.
A demurrage.
What is it called?
Demurrage.
Demurge? Why do they call it demurge?
I don't know.
Make that one make sense. I don't know what that means. Demurge?
Yeah, if a driver's there past their hour, they'll hit you with the demurrage, which they start charging you about a minute.
They should say that up front, though, don't you think?
It'll probably be on the paperwork after the fact.
Yeah, that doesn't matter after the fact. Yeah. But that should all be up front. But when you call and ask for pricing on something, all that shit should be up front. I don't get to just add fees without telling you that they're coming.
But that's a common practice with concrete.
To add a demurge?
If you're over there an hour or whatever, like if your truck's got a half a load in it instead of a full truck.
They still should tell you, regardless, because not everybody,
right?
You know what I mean, is aware of that. Concrete driver wouldn't be aware, but I mean, I don't pour concrete that often. You know what I'm saying? How would I know that?
Right. But what I'm saying is the point where he started washing his truck and shit was just ridiculous. And now with these GPSs and stuff, once you leave the job is when it clicks off. Even if you write it down, it clicks off when you leave the job.
Okay.
So it'll be from when he got there to when he leaves.
And that's why he was sitting on the street just washing his truck.
No, because some drivers are like that. They got to get every little speck off their truck before they leave. But he shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was enough to irritate the shit out of me, is all I'm saying. Yeah. It irritated me, and now I got pitted concrete from the same driver, per se. You know what I mean?
So like Daryl, myself, a lot of drivers just hurry up, wash out, go back to the yard, and clean it up there.
But the problem is, like I said, it's the whole problem is why isn't everybody else's concrete pitted? If it was, because I mean, when you poured June 19th, I mean, you had the whole season to cure. You know what I'm saying? That should not be an effect. There should be no effect on that whatsoever. This shouldn't.
That's why I said it's hard to go back on anybody because there's so many factors in it.
Nah, it's bullshit. They got to stand. Why do they not? Why are they the only ones that don't have to stand behind their product?
I ain't saying that. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's what's essentially happening. I mean, they should have to stand behind their product regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they have like weights and measures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I get that whole thing, but I don't know if I buy half of that either because I didn't get all the concrete I was supposed to get, and I know I didn't.
All right.
On that last truck, there's no question about that. But anyways, whatever. But that's something I got to deal with now. My fucked up driveway. I got a gravel driveway again.
Yeah.
It's lovely. The lovely gravel driveway. So you're off again for the week, huh?
Yeah, supposedly.
What happened? Why? Because weren't you supposed to go back this week and then it changed?
Yeah, well, the weather was bad, so they would have been like a half a week. So being courteous to me, they just said, we'll start next week. And
yeah, don't start that way. Like, fuck up your unemployment and do the same shit they did to you at the end of the year.
Yeah,
that would be horrible.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. You get like 3 weeks of a half checks and shit. So
where's Daryl? Why is Daryl in Arizona?
Daryl was partying.
He's just partying?
Yeah, he's on vacation.
What's in Arizona?
Buddy is.
Oh, he's just at a buddy's house?
Mm-hmm.
Is he? Where? Do you know where at in Arizona?
He said it, but I can't remember.
Oh. They say Arizona's pretty cool. I don't know. Never
I don't
been.
know either.
Never been.
That's one place I ain't never been.
Seems hot.
Vegas, Arizona. I ain't never been to another.
A lot of people from around here moved out there. A ton of people did.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Kyle was too?
Who? Yeah.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He was in Phoenix, I believe.
Was he in Phoenix?
I think it was Phoenix. I know most of his family was in Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about it. But yeah, what else did you have going on this week?
The jambalaya.
The jambalaya, that went
really good.
That went real good. Did you see that? The fish fry went pretty good too.
That was really good too.
The only thing is that I fucked up.
What?
So
you was debating not putting it out there.
What do you mean?
On here?
No, I wasn't. No, I don't. I try not to hide too much from on here. I had other than my wife won't let me say shit or whatever. You know what I mean? But I try to just put it out there. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But no, what happened was. I worked Thursday night. Okay. So Thursday night when I'm working, I thought, well, I'll get a jump and bread some of this fish for Summer. You know what I'm saying? Like that way in the morning she won't have so much to do. And I do it, and I get home. I told Amanda, goes, you said last year you don't want to do that. I go, what are you talking about? She goes, no, it just doesn't come out right. It doesn't look good. And I go, what? And she goes, I promise. And then we came in, and sure as shit, man, I was frying up weird. We had to start breading fresh fish again, because the fish that was going out.
So would you throw all that out?
It tastes fine. It tastes fine. It just looks weird. It's like the breading gets soggy, and it just looks like shit. But when you do it fresh, it looks amazing. They both tasted okay. You know what I mean? But one of the problems is that everything is so like floating and visual when frying that fish to make sure it's perfectly cupped or cooked the way you want it, that when the breading isn't right, it makes it hard to cook it right too, because you can't really see what it just doesn't look the same. You don't have that good visual to see whether it's cooked or not. So the first people that came in earlier in the day did not get our best face forward, which kind of bums me out a little bit. But it's still we still pumped out quite a bit of the done right.
Well, I came
fish.
with Allie, and she had some, and she really enjoyed it. She liked it.
I think when Allie came, I think that we were already into the fresh batch. That's when Summer had already gotten here, right? Or
yeah, Summer was here when that happened.
Yeah, that was when Summer, or when I was already cooking. And then, I was already cooking, and then Summer started breading when I started cooking.
Owen and Chrissy was here. They was enjoying it.
Yeah, it was fine later. It was the early birds that got.
Have you
got the
you ever
lesser.
hear of anybody dipping fish in applesauce?
No, it doesn't surprise me though.
Yeah.
Who was Allie?
No, Chrissy.
Oh, Chrissy was?
Yeah.
It doesn't. Dylan does pepperoni and applesauce. I thought that was bizarre. Pepperoni and applesauce.
She just looked like, oh, is there any? And you know what? There was no applesauce here. And then Summer happened to have one of them little packs of it, personal thing. And she's like, here. And I gave it to her, and she was like, dipping it. I was like, that's weird.
That is very weird. That's pretty bizarre.
To each his own. That's what you do. That's what you do.
It was good, though. It came out real good. The fish was real good. The walleye was real good. But walleye, we do 2 order because we don't get as many orders of that, so it's always fresh and breading fresh. Which, it was fresh. I did it late night Thursday night. You know what I mean? Right. It was just the next morning, but it just does not do the same as the one you just bread it and go. You know what I mean? So when we did the second batch, it just so much nicer. I actually put the old batch back and let it sit there. I don't know what to do with that. Like, I guess I lose it. I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what happens. My fault, though, because my wife immediately knew. She's like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
So after the jambalaya, I was like, well, I had stuff already cut up for more batches and stuff, but we didn't use it. So then I go, well, I don't want it to go to waste. So I came up here it was already cut and everything, and I was like, I'm just gonna make a gumbo soup. So I made it with the rice and stuff. And when I first made it, it was tasty. It was good. It was a little spicy. But with letting it sit there, that shit was fire after that.
Yeah, it got hot as hell. Why did it get so hot?
Probably from the sausage. It just came out.
But it didn't happen to the jambalaya. It was the same
that's
sausage.
Different. They ain't soaking in that water, I guess. I don't know. But it just seemed like somebody dumped a whole gallon of cayenne in that sucker. It was so damn hot.
And you didn't put any cayenne, no hot sauce, nothing in there? Really?
Well, the same thing I did everything else. Well, when I ate it earlier, it was fine. But sitting there, that shit got like fire.
Oh, yeah, it was hot. I took a bite. I went, holy shit, that's hot. I got to cook this morning.
Damn, what do you got to cook?
No, I mean, I got to come to cook this morning. I'm supposed to be on shift already, but whatever. I ain't worried about it. Ain't nobody coming in to eat Sunday morning early.
That's why nobody comes in to eat Sunday morning. There ain't nothing ready.
I mean, she scheduled me for Sunday morning, and I thought, oh, that's fine. But for one, I didn't know there was time change involved. I didn't know that I wasn't going to fall asleep at night. I mean, I'd still be able to get to the shift, but it screws up the podcast. Because even if, like, I get off air now, I don't have time to, like, load everything and do all the shit I got to do,
Yeah, you get down there and have to just hit it as soon as you get down there.
Yeah. But whatever. It is what it is. But at least I only had to work 2 days. Well, I ended up working 3, actually. I did end up. I worked Thursday night, Friday night, and then Sunday day.
So what day you open the patio?
It's always been St. Patty's Day. And the weather says it could be again. Yeah. It's possible, but I don't know that it'd be good enough to actually open. Like, it's close. It's so close, I don't know what to do. Because St. Patty's Day is, I think, going to be like 55. And then I think the next day is 60.
Put the covers down.
I think I'm going to have to hold it off a week, I think.
All right.
I think so. Well, for one, you got to hire. Which I think Brittany's coming back. Brittany wants to come back and work second shift now. And I reached out to Allie. Allie wants to come. So I don't know. That might be enough, maybe. I might need one more, maybe. One more bartender to open up that patio.
Yeah.
And it's just been too cold, I think, and I just don't know.
I think people are going to be excited.
For the patio? They're always excited for the patio, but I just don't want to open it too soon where it's just like, because then it's damaging to the bartender who's out there with 3 people dressed in a fur coat. You know what I mean? Like, just doesn't, if it's too early, because there's times where we're doing the fish fry and it's 65, 70 degrees outside. You know what I mean? And there's times where I've had St. Patty's Day and it's 80 degrees outside. But this isn't looking like it's going to be one of those years.
Just open it up, close the things, put the heat on.
I'm supposed to start this job Monday, too. I got to call him.
You going to do kegs and eggs?
Yeah, that's why I said I got to call him, because I'm supposed to start this job Monday. which is St. Patrick's Day. I didn't realize it was Monday was St. Patrick's Day whenever I agreed to it, so I might have to put it off one day. I have to call them and let them know just to put it off for one day. But then that's the day Amanda leaves for Florida. So that day I got to drop her off at the airport too. So I got a whole bunch of nonsense going on, trying to figure out how to make that one work. But what else did I want to talk? Oh, we didn't ever talk about Trump's speech, huh? That was since last episode. So he does this. I guess what is that? A State of the Union address to Congress, or I don't know what the hell they call it. That was. So he goes on. Apparently the longest one ever, like 100 minutes or something like that, which doesn't surprise you with Trump. He doesn't seem to stop talking, and everybody's going on and on about what a great speech it is. It's all right. I mean, I'm not saying it. I don't see where it was this great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, It's not like.
Well, it was kind of like that Joe thing. Good job, Joe. You answered every question.
I just didn't see where it was like this great speech everybody keeps saying it was. I mean, the Dems kind of embarrassed themselves the way they acted. What was it? Al Green from Texas got kicked out, which is, I think, the first time that's ever happened. And I mean, he said his piece, and he was supposed to sit down, and he was asked to sit down, and he refused to sit down and be quiet. Which, I mean, I guess you have to kick him out, but and he was speaking over Trump was the problem. It wasn't what he was saying or anything.
Yeah, he wasn't being nasty.
No, he was just that he was trying to speak over him, so he couldn't hear it. And then they put these signs up, which these signs were the perfect thing for memes, because there's so many out there now with those signs saying whatever any meme master wants them to say, and it's so easy because it's just a black dot.
Yeah, I was gonna say these people are good too.
Man, you don't even have to be good to do those ones, though. Right. Any dummy could do that one. I mean, they just give them a nice black surface to just dot it out and put whatever they want on.
That AI shit just gets me, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, that deep fake stuff is wild. Like, especially these interviews they do where they'll show an interview with somebody and it's
they're
like
fighting and shit,
or they're saying something. Yeah, they did that with the Zelensky and Trump. Like
they made him a midget.
Yeah,
that one was funny.
Yeah, they were all funny, all of them. Like they had Trump's wig coming off in the or toupee, I guess you would call it. But yeah, I mean, those things are wild, and now it's like you don't even know what could be real.
Right.
Well, I like the ones where after the interviews at basketball games where they're like, yeah, he really handed me my ass, and like they're saying stupid stuff, but it looks so real.
The one that got me a long time ago, which is before the technology was so good, was the one where Obama's standing there at the podium, or some little podium thing, and then he steps away and he's doing these backflips away and shit. That shit was funny as hell. I'm like, wow. Yeah,
they can do crazy shit with that AI, like to the point where you could literally see something you don't know if it's true or not.
Right.
Like literally, it could happen, especially if they were to just do minor adjustments within the video. Where you know what I mean? Right. They could adjust what you said, anything.
Yeah.
You know, right inside the video, you would never. How would we know? You wouldn't know that as good as it is.
They got Arnold Schwarzenegger singing all kinds of songs now. That shit's funny as hell.
And then they had right before the speech that he gives, they tried to pass, because he did the executive order saying no men and women's sports. So then now he wanted it to go into Congress so that like it's a law, like it had have to be like undone by Congress, and it didn't go through. Not one Democrat vote, and I just don't understand how. I mean, clearly the U.S. and all of its citizens, or most of its citizens, agree that men shouldn't play in women's sports.
I would say 98%.
I think that they actually are saying it's 80%. But I mean, even that sounds low. Right. You know what I mean? I think, like you say, 98. I think most people understand why you don't want to have it done.
I don't understand why people would.
I don't either. I don't even know what. I don't understand it. Because they keep talking about like, oh, you're this transgender like has rights. It's like, what about the rights of the women that are playing in those sports. Like the girl that he had on there that got hit in the face with a volleyball that like gave her brain damage. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see none.
That was one of the people, because he brought in her. He brought in that little kid with the cancer, and then he brought in the other kid that I think he lost his dad, but he wanted to go to West Point, and he informed him right there that he was going to West Point, which that was kind of neat. But all these people, none of the Democrats stood up for, which typically when there's something like that, they'll stand up for it.
It's a neutral
you know what I mean?
thing. It's not a
it's not and they just would refuse to stand. And they almost embarrassed themselves to some degree. They need to do something with the Democratic Party. It's not. They're going to lose it. People are not going to keep voting for them. They're slowly people are starting to get fed up with the things that come out of the Democratic Party when they're pushing for agendas that 80% of the country don't want. It's just, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you can't just keep doing that, I wouldn't think. And I think that everybody's opening their eyes to go, well, what the hell? And it wasn't like this. I mean, the Democratic Party, when Clinton was in office, looked about like Trump's party right now. Pretty close. I mean, the policies were about the same. And now it's like it got hijacked by this right-wing moderate, you know what I mean? And it's just gone now. They're just getting taken advantage of because they just don't care. They're saying no to things that are common sense just because it's the right or the Trump era. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get that. But
and people like today, this morning at the gas station, I'm in the gas station. I come in, and the clerk, and there was a black woman, older black woman, and the clerk are talking. And the clerk is a white lady. She's nervous about Trump, basically, since she's talking to the black lady. And I come in and I'm like, bite your tongue. I'll keep my nose out of this. Keep your nose out of this.
You didn't, though, did you?
I didn't have to. The old black lady was like, I don't know, Trump's doing his thing. I don't like none of these politicians. At least he's trying something different. Like, I mean, that's what their base is. That's what they're trying to go after. That's what they're aiming for. And they are so off kilter that woman has no respect for any of it anymore. I think everybody likes the idea. Whether you like what Trump's doing right now or not, you like the idea that he's doing something different. I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with everything he's doing, though. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. But I'm hoping that he sees something in it that I don't.
This is one of them things. All you can say is time will tell.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know where he's at. It seems like. I mean, I knew that he was talking about doing things like tariffs and stuff like that, and I never once dreamed that it was going to be Canada and Mexico. That shocked the shit out of me when it happened. Yeah. But then, after it happened, I thought, well, geez, when they started showing all the tariffs they're charging us, I'm like, well, no wonder he went after them. You know what I mean? Like, showing all these tariffs and stuff, I'm going, well, okay, this now makes a little more sense. Mexico, I understood because I always thought that Mexico's where we were losing a lot of our car industry. They were just going to Mexico and getting cheap labor. But I feel like right now, if we don't correct this now, like as far as manufacturing and cheap labor, we're really putting ourselves in a bad spot because cheap labor is not going to even be an issue in 20 years from now. I mean, the way these factories are, I mean,
automated and shit.
They're all the robots are in there doing most of the work or a lot of the work. Mm-hmm. So cheap labor becomes, nothing. It means nothing anymore. You know what I mean? It just really doesn't, and it won't even matter because it's all robot. My mom, her job is she runs a robot. She told me because I asked her yesterday. I was like, how many robots do you have at your work? She goes, it's what I do. I run a robot. And I'm like, oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know that when we build these factories, like the ones that I have built in the last 10 years. A lot of robot technology involved in it. A lot of, like, they paint the floors with this magnetic paint where these robots just drive on the floor and follow this track to do the stocking of parts and stuff. Like, it's, I mean...
They got automated forklifts and all kinds of shit.
Oh, yeah. Like, have you seen that Amazon thing that they show? Like, all the different conveyors and the robots? It's wild what they have going on with the technology there. So it becomes a point where you go, if you don't get it in check right now, you're going to lose all these jobs to cheap labor that didn't even matter at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, by the time it gets here, it's going to be automated anyways.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I know all these, and the best part is that these new companies that do come in right now, they're going to be building some of the most high-tech automated companies that are out there. You know what I mean?
I think people better, the younger people need to go towards that, like
towards robots.
Yeah, IT, more into AI and.
Well, the problem is that's what they're saying, like code writing and stuff like that. AI is just going to write it for you.
Yeah, well,
that's the problem. Like, you won't even need the degree. AI is just going to do it for you. And quite frankly, half these kids that are going to college aren't even learning anything anyways. They're just having AI do shit for them, right? Write their reports and stuff. So really, it doesn't matter if you have the college degree or not. You just go to AI and have them do it. That's the problem. And that thing is, like I said, they're doing. If America gave up, and we have, China has all this manufacturing and stuff, pretty soon their citizens won't have to manufacture anything. Then Mexico, they won't have to, it'll all be automated for the most part.
Yeah.
Or it's getting to that point. When you consider 20 years ago, there was like no robots in factories. You know what I mean? Maybe one here and there, like some arms that were attached to something,
like a welder or something.
Yeah, there wasn't nothing nowhere near to this degree. I mean, this is now
it's called technology. It's just going to keep advancing.
That's right. And as these robots advance, they're going to. I mean, you've seen that iRobot that Elon Musk made. I mean, that thing is a person. It does whatever.
Yeah.
They showed the Kardashians out with it shopping, carrying the bags behind it and shit.
Was AI?
Oh my God, I never even thought about that. Was it a deep fake?
That's a fake. Get out of here. It ain't that advanced yet.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I bet it is.
Okay.
You think that's a deep fake?
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, they had a whole convention where they were showing these things doing stuff.
Okay.
They had them doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You think that's a deep fake?
Look it up again. I don't think that's real.
I would have to go look at it and see, because I think it is.
Well, you can address it next week.
That would make sense why it looks like an iRobot, huh? They just put a Tesla label on the iRobot.
Yeah.
He was saying he wants to make those where you're going to put them in your house for like, what did he say?
40 grand.
Yeah, 40 grand. Could you imagine? Man. 40 grand, dude. That's cheap. To have something that, but see now yes, it's cheap, but what's the maintenance situation going to be like? Like, is it going to be like one of those like cars where you have to buy it every 5 years and stuff like that? Or is it something that's going to last for 10 years?
I ain't got no extra 40 grand to buy nothing. I ain't buying one, so I don't care.
Oh, they'll be on payments. It won't matter. it'll be 40 grand, but it'll be on payments. You pay like $500 a month, and you have some. So you could probably make $1,200 a month.
Yeah, I was gonna say you put it out in your driveway washing cars and shit.
Yeah, you just do
that shit ain't advanced.
Have it serving here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they already have robots that are serving. They have it right down here at what is that, Don Tequila?
Oh, where it brings out in the cart or something.
Yeah, it's got like the cart that comes out, and they have it right. Is that Don Tequila?
I don't know.
What's the one that's right there behind Salinel's?
I don't know, but I heard about it too.
Yeah, they have them. They're serving right now, and I get them every day. They show them like in my feed, like because I'm a restaurant owner. I get that, and I get the automated fry oil things, and I get the automated kitchen things. Like, they're trying to set it up where you can. I don't know how much that shit would cost.
They ain't got a summer yet.
They don't have a summer
yet.
So. But if you get that robot, it would be cool. I think in theory, for one, we would have to have a bigger dining room. where it would be like valuable to people to enjoy it coming in and out. Like coming through here would be, there's not enough room in this bar to send that thing through. But if you had like a big dining room off to the side, I could see where it would be novelty. People would just want to come just to see it for a minute. But then they'll get over it eventually, right?
And then they'll be like, you wasted your money.
I would think they would get over it eventually. I would think
that it would just be boring at one point.
Yeah, it's just we're going to see them everywhere probably. Right. Yeah. I mean, what happens to society if these robots actually work, like the Tesla one that we just seen?
I think people would just adjust. They're like everything else.
But I mean, what do we do then? If we've got a robot to do everything we need done, what do we do?
Let them do it.
But what do we do?
Do something else.
Our mental capacity is going to be horrible. Our mental.
But just think about it when calculators
health is going to be horrible.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and our mental health has went horrible ever since.
Calculators
and computers and all that stuff.
Yes.
Your mental health, the mental health of the world will be horrible if you have nothing to do, and the robot does everything for you, and you just
go on a nice hike with Daryl.
Yeah, but people won't. They'll just sit around and eat bonbons.
Nah.
That's why people are mentally fucked up, dude. I swear to God, I think that's what it is. I think they don't get, like, I believe that wholeheartedly. They need, like, something. They need exercise. They need something. It's that you've heard for years. Idle time means idle mind. That idle mind is horrible. Idle body and idle mind is not good for you. I think that keeps you alive. It keeps you healthy. It keeps you, like, and if they take that from you and you're just, I mean, you would think it was neat at first. Hey, I don't have to do anything. The robot's going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you do something.
But you get to do something. You got to,
that's just like, that's an individual's choice. Just like when people get retired and shit. Some people just lay around and watch TV all the time, and some people go golfing. You know, like whatever.
Right. But my point is that the mental health is going to be worse than it is today. The mental health will be worse because there will be people that choose to do nothing, and those people will become mentally fucked up.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think the people that choose not to do nothing are the people that ain't motivated enough to buy one. So,
everybody, dude, if you don't want to do nothing, you'll be motivated to buy a fucking robot. Are you kidding me? I think if robots were to become, if those were to become commonplace, those robots, there would be no jobs. I mean, if they could sort the mail, build the cars, if they could do all those different things, plug and they could probably plug right into the computer, like on Star Wars. You know what I mean? It would just
do that again.
It would just. It's so like it would eliminate any need for any of us to do any work.
People adjust, man.
I get it, but mental health is, I mean, people have not adjusted. There's mental health. The mental health in this country is horrible compared to 50 years ago. And 50 years ago, people were all working, all getting exercise. They weren't like in their screens watching their phones. I mean, what are we going to do? We're just going to all sit around and scroll all day, play games on our phone?
Probably.
You're going to be mentally fucked in your head if you do that, don't you think?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think people adjust.
I don't think they have in the last 50 years, though, is what I'm saying.
Some.
Because the people that don't do anything seems to be the ones that have the most mental health issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's
find a hobby.
The way it seems. Yeah, they need to. I think that mental health would. I think that they treat too much with chemicals and everything that they could just like go to the gym, get a gym membership, and be in better shape, or get a job. You know, I mean, something. Yeah. I mean, people are treated for things all the time like that.
I'm not so familiar with mental health, so I ain't gonna comment on it.
Me neither. But do you do realize that the people you know that have mental health issues don't do anything all day, right? And they didn't do anything all day before the mental health started?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I notice. I see it.
I don't know too many people with mental health.
Now who's kidding yourself? I've seen your friend. All right, we got to get out of here. I got to cook in like 18 minutes, so
Yeah.
we got to get going. Everybody go click on YouTube and subscribe, and TikTok and Instagram and all the good stuff. If Gito doesn't have one this week, maybe we'll try and get another better episode out where we don't have to rush out.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Later.